Hello and welcome to Michael's Minty Music for today. Today we review Train's 2003 album, My Private Nation. It just hit its 20th anniversary just a few days ago, and it's pretty good. It's kind of unique, but nothing really crazy, so definitely a good album. This is the track listing, and these are the tracks I added to my playlist. 7 out of the 11 on the album, so a little bit over half. This album is pretty good. First half of the album is pretty great. It sounds original, but is still pretty similar to other pop rock songs from the early 2000s. There's nothing on here that's really, really different, but they're all pretty good, and they've all got enough uniqueness to be pretty interesting. The second half of the album isn't as good, but it's still all right. It doesn't really drag the album down that much, in my opinion. Tracks 7 through 11 are mostly not great, but they're not so bad that the whole album is just the first half, really. The main problem with the album is that there really aren't any songs that stand out. There's nothing here that's super amazing. A bunch of songs here are definitely good, but there's really nothing here that is memorable or stands out except for the radio tracks. The flow is decent, but it's mostly just carried by the good songs. As soon as it hits the not so great tracks, it kind of falls off a bit. But overall, definitely, it's just kind of decent. The album's generally good. A lot of the tracks are good, fine to listen to, but there's nothing here that's really outstanding. The only single released before the album was Calling All Angels, the first track, which was a big hit off this album, along with, I believe When I Look to the Sky was also a big radio hit. My favorite song here, though, is probably Get To Me, right in the middle, which may have also been on the radio at the time. I don't quite remember. There was some competition for this slot. A lot of the songs here are kind of the similar quality. There was some competition from the title track, My Private Nation, and Your Every Color were also pretty good. So there's kind of a good amount of tracks here that are good, but there's nothing here that I would go, oh yeah, you have to listen to that. Which is why I rank this album 7th out of Train's 11 albums. So it's technically the best album in the lower half. This is probably the best average album they've made. It's got the most good songs on it, but it doesn't have anything outstanding like some of their later albums. I would say it's alright, but it's far from their best work overall. It's definitely better than it's sort of the best of their early 2000s work, I would say. And it also is definitely better than some of their more wackier albums, such as Train Does Led Zeppelin 2 or Christmas in Tahoe. But it's not really as good as any of their sort of Save Me San Francisco or Post work. This album definitely doesn't take my top spot from 2003. That goes to Try This by Pink, which is just a better album overall. The songs are better, the flow is better, there are more better songs, and it rocks a lot harder, in my opinion. So that one definitely takes it. Next up is Queen's 1973 self-titled debut album, their first album. It's alright, but in my opinion, they have better albums. It's an okay start, but it's not great, I will admit, in my opinion. So stay tuned for that, and stay minty.